Hey, good morning, everybody. If nobody noticed, job numbers just came out around 8:15 a.m., stronger than expected, which will put more pressure on the Fed to hike interest rates a quarter points in 2 weeks. Remember, we have CPI information coming out next week, which will probably influence their final decision for hikes coming in June. With that said, going into today, I decided that I thought the Fed would probably pause rate hikes for June and go to July because there's a whisper on Wall Street. I still have friends on Wall Street that I speak to, and we talk about debt ceiling issues and we talk about interest rate issues because they're in the banking industry. So it's more important for them. But I take what they're saying, I process it, how it helps me, how I can help you process the market. So, again, going into today overnight, I was expecting a bit of a pop on the market this morning. Jobs numbers might have pushed that off. The US dollar has declined, which would tell me bullish. Job numbers being strong would tell me bearish because the Fed has to act. So I'll talk about a couple other occurrences, but let's just first talk about yesterday. I mentioned probably a 3-point range on the SPY, maybe 3.5. We saw top side at 419.22, bottom side 416.22. Look at it, 3-point difference. So X also, it is June 1st. Let's get right to Discord. Somebody asked me if I can just explain some of my trades. So I'm going to pull up some of my trades real quick, some of my alerts, just recent ones, why I got into them, and then we'll talk about market conditions for today. So first, for 3 straight weeks, my accounts were positive Monday through Thursday, with Friday getting hammered all 3 straight weeks. What does that tell me? It tells me tomorrow I'm probably not going to trade. All right. So I realize what my flaws are, how to improve my trading skills and my efficiency. Tells me, you know what, slow it down on Friday. Fridays are tough for you. I thought we were going to dump previous Fridays. We rebounded previous Friday. So then I got a small account, $25. I went into an AMD put, 115. AMD dropped. So that one's looking pretty good. I think the small account's probably up 70% overnight. I bought some AMD puts, $120 puts. $87. Now, I was looking for AMD to go to 120. It's at like 117 and change pre-market. Those puts are over $3. Unfortunately or fortunately, I secured profit. I kept adding to that position. I mentioned also Tesla calls were pretty strong. This is one of my other small accounts, Robinhood, 222, 296. I think we closed at 500 and change yesterday. Back to those damn AMD puts. I re-entered the same trade because I really liked the trade and I thought the AMD puts would go up. And again, AMD was 126. Now we're sitting at 117 a day and a half later. So all my alerts aren't fire like AMD, but pretty decent. I grabbed some SPY puts. The SPY was 420, 420.73. Exited out, 419, a lot lower. Where we got back to the AMD puts. That was the account as I exited out. I got it up even higher. I thought I did a great job because I was going to exit out of those puts and re-enter them. And the puts went down to $82. And I was like, okay, great. And I got preoccupied. Got preoccupied with an email, didn't re-enter them. So again, my strategy wasn't there and I wasn't going to chase. It ended up working out well. Anyway, yeah, I saw them at $1.34. They're up to $3. But again, to me, it was chasing. I was just upset. What did I do yesterday? I saw or removed my focus to Uber. Why? I saw some large transactions at 37.33. Then Uber dropped all the way down to 37.10. What did I do? I entered into some Uber calls. I tell you guys exactly what I spent and why I spent that money. I spent that money because I saw some heavy buying in Uber. With that said, right after I bought them, they went down 3% here, $3 here, which is more like 5%. So everybody has a chance. And one rule on Discord is, whatever trade I make, if you want to follow in and you want to take the same risk that I'm taking, just get a better price than me. I don't care. If I pay $1.01, you pay 98. If I pay $1.10, you pay $1.01. I mean, just understand, you want to get in better than me. I pointed out again what I was looking for. So here was the large buy right here. And I waited for it to drop. Just because we see a large purchase doesn't mean we have to follow suit. You see a large flow trade, you don't have to follow suit on those. Again, just Uber, recapping Uber, the account was over 500. I think we closed yesterday up 131%. So again, managing 2 smaller accounts, 1 larger account. That's what I'm trying to do to help out. Not everybody should take my trades, but you can figure, let me explain why I'm entering those trades. Let me explain the action or the volume that I'm seeing. And that way, when you're trading whatever stocks or underlying stocks you're trading options in, you could see the same momentum. Oh shit, somebody just sold big on XYZ Corp. And then it just popped after. You know what? When it rejects the ceiling, I'm going to get in some puts because I understand that's what big money was doing. All right, speaking about big money, let's get right to it. What happened yesterday right before close? Some big institutions sold 33 million shares of Apple on the open market, which caused Apple to go whoop, like that. It was $5.8 billion worth. Okay, next, the SPY, the S&P, it's approached 420, 5 out of the last 9 trading days, and gets rejected each time. So again, if I'm going to follow history, I'm looking at, okay, can the SPY go up to 420? It's a possibility. We've had some sell-offs. And if it gets there, is it going to reject again? So that's 5 out of the last 9 days. What am I going to use? Dark pool levels, okay? So heavy on the dark pool at 419.41. So as the SPY is sitting, and I've got AMD up pre-market 117.38. So disappointed in myself. Let me just look at Uber pre-market, $38. That's decent. Where is the SPY? Here we go. All right, SPY pre-market 418.42. So when I mentioned the dark pool levels, 419.41 is the next level higher, and 418 is the next level lower for support. Now, again, I've mentioned the psychological level 418. If I gave my prediction yesterday, I thought we were going to finish right at 418 because we generally finish right on a dark pool level. So your dark pool levels, 420.82. There's your bull case scenario. Bull case scenario is we break that 420 and we finish closer to 421. There's your dark pool level, 10.9 billion. Okay. What's likely to happen is I'm going to pay attention to 419.41 because it's likely to reject psychologically. If we say 420 has been rejecting 5 out of the last 9 days, and we know that's a tough point to break through, and there's a dark pool level at 419.41. If the SPY goes up, I'm going to add about 10 cents. I'm going to go, I'm looking for it to reject right around 419.50. Okay. If it breaks 419.50 like nothing, and we're having a bullish day for some reason, 419.50 gets broken, they're voting on the House bill in the Senate today, then yeah, we could approach that 420.82 level. Now, if 419.41 rejects, and again, we're at 418 and change pre-market. So I say, okay, if 419.50 rejects, we can go 3 points lower like we did yesterday and go 416.50. What does that mean? It means if I'm in Uber calls and I see us reject 419.50, I'm going to say I'm going to take profit because the likelihood is we're going down to 416.50. Okay. If I'm in puts and I'm carrying them over today and I see we reject, I can go, okay, I can hang on to my puts because I think the market's going lower. Now, again, the market's not going all in one direction, meaning every stock is not going 2% or 1% lower. There are stocks that are being bought up and there are stocks that are being sold off. Okay. And yeah, we can mention NVIDIA, but we'll wait on that. US dollar, okay? US dollar spiked yesterday, is back at 104.03 or somewhere around that. So if the US dollar drops below 104, what would that be? Bullish for the market. We see the US dollar spike back to 104.50 where it was yesterday. What should that be? It means the market's more expensive, the dollar's more expensive, the markets should drop a little. Okay, so there's an easy tell right there. These are things that everybody should be tracking on a daily basis. US dollar, yes. I've got the VIX and the UVXY in the corner just to tell me implied volatility of the market. But what I really like to do is look at market net flow, and I'll show you guys on Discord. Let's go to Discord and see what we can do for market net flow, okay? But let's, where's Discord? There it is. Okay, so market net flow. First, before we get into market net flow, I'm just going to talk about what I do during the day, okay? At 420, expected a drop. We saw that drop. 420.65. We obviously saw a drop where we are now, 420.22. Show the net flow. Net flow was bearish at the time. No, you don't know what this means. It means the puts premiums were up here, call premiums around 0, price of the SPY or the S&P right around here. So again, looking for it to go down, drop to 419. There you go. Same here. Put holders haven't given up on the market. All right. However, going into today, I'll just let everybody know there are more calls in the market than puts for this Friday's expiration, right? So for tomorrow's expiration, calls outnumber puts. Now, when you go out weeks and months, yes, you have puts, but that could be hedging because we've been in a decent run. With that said, I like to make market predictions. I like to follow volume. Right here, when we saw this huge red candle, I knew we were going down and we dropped down to this level. So when you see a red candle like this and volume is just so strong and we were fading higher for hours, it's time for puts. So, and let's just talk about yesterday again. Key levels of the SPY yesterday, they're going to be the same levels today. 418 is a key level. 419.41 is a large dark pool level. 420.82. Again, these are the same freaking numbers. 416.61, a smaller level, but it held true yesterday, right? 416.22 was the low. If we drop past that to the downside, 415.20. So here are your dark pool levels spelled out for Discord yesterday. Now, I was seeing they were buying Uber, Apple, Meta, Microsoft. They were selling Moderna, Caterpillar, Shop. So again, it's telling you it's a mixed market. Now, if 418 did not hold, I gave you the next dark pool level, 416.61. So as the SPY was sitting at 417.42, you know it was going to drop a whole nother dollar. That's how you make money. You see that, hey, this level didn't hold. We're going to touch base on the next level. Could be support. Now, it could have dropped further, but you knew it was going down to that next level. Boom, there it is. What do I tell you? This will either act as support, and it did within 20 cents, or we drop to the next level. So when you see it act as support, what can you do? You can get bullish. Now, we had PMI numbers coming in. That's me showing off that AMD put that I sold too soon. I gave you a morning update here. All right, SPY hit as predicted. We hit that 418 number, intraday high, and then I gave you a pre-market video. And again, job numbers came out stronger. Now, if job numbers, which were estimated at 170,000, came in at 170, I would say there's a good chance the Fed doesn't hike in June. That's what I was expecting today. I was expecting job numbers to fall in line and then just more rumors on the street swirling saying, okay, we're going to pause the June rate hike. Okay. Didn't happen. All right. Another company I wanted to speak out, Lucid, $7.76. It's probably off 10% this morning. Why? They just said they were going to get another $3 billion from the Saudis. So even let's just do simple math. Simple math. The company has a book value or a market cap of $14 billion, 14.23. Okay. Let's round up. Let's just say 15 billion for shits and giggles. Okay. They're getting a 3 billion cash infusion, right? That's about 20% of the value. The fact that Lucid's only off 10% this morning, I'm staying away from Lucid. I want to stay away from it. Anytime another entity has that big of control, and it's not like Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway's investing, it's the Saudis are investing, and they want anyway. All right, the institutional that sold 33 million shares of Apple at the close. Crazy. This is the small account that was $25 is now 43. Hopefully it'll be 60 or something today. Again, I thought there was going to be a rate pause in June. Originally, I said 90% were going rate hike in June. Yesterday, all of a sudden, I was like, the market looks so beat up. There are certain stocks pulling back. Interest rates will hurt banks. 4 new banks made it onto the I'm worried that you guys could default list. Deposits for banks were at the lowest level in Q1 in like years. So that's not good. I'm assuming everybody's hiding it in their mattresses or putting it in their walls of their houses. So in 50 years, when someone buys a new house and is demolishing the wall, they're going to be like, holy shit, look at all this money in the walls, because that's what people are probably doing. This is your end of the day on Tesla. Now, I know Tesla's off 1% this morning, but for the last 2.5 hours of the day, what were they doing? Buying Tesla. End of the day, piled into Tesla. So yeah, I'm looking at Tesla as a trade today. It was the most actively traded option 2 days ago on Tuesday, which was the first day back after the long weekend. So again, not a bull fan of Tesla, and that's a strong freaking move, and I would need a pullback, but I could tell they were loading into Tesla. It's probably for the long haul. Just see. Okay, here we go. Volume leaders. Someone that I follow on Twitter, Q's, right? 2.8 million shares at $348.80. The 7th largest trade since the inception of the Q's. It's 144 times the average size. This is the second top 10 trade in as many days. Generally, when someone's unloading Apple and someone's unloading the Q's, that's extremely bearish. Now, we have people on our Discord that say we're still doing a buy the dip mentality and we're going up to 430. Neat. I'm trying to trade without emotion. In my bear camp, I say somebody's unloading Apple. Somebody's unloading Q's. Longer term out, they're buying puts that could be a hedge against the recent run. So that's my bear camp scenario. My bull camp scenario is shit. All we see is drop in the market, buy the dip. Companies dip off earnings, they buy the crater, they fill the crater back up. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. And I'll talk about some stocks. This is my Uber flow end of day. Again, volume picked up, right? And we're at 37.60 all the way to 37.90 when volume's picking up. And there was some rejection at 37.90. But let's remember, at 37.10, That's when I entered in $37.10, $37.12. The low on the day was $37.07. So I did a pretty good job there. My Uber calls up 58% on one of my accounts. What else? Oh, what else do I like to use? I like to use GEX levels. GEX levels tell you whether the SPY. So let me just explain what GEX is real quick, okay? You have 0 days till expiration options, okay? Now, there are some expiring today. They were bought yesterday because the market's not open yet. However, when the market opens today, you can follow the flow. You see, are they loading into the 420 calls, the 418 calls, the 415 puts, the 416 puts? Again, that expired today. So how do you find that out? Well, easy. I go onto Discord. What would I do? Well, I'm going to go into the flows and algos room, and I'll do it with everybody. And then we'll answer some questions, and I'll talk about some stocks. All right, flow and algos rooms. This is where I get my dark pool levels. Let's do TR. Well, I'll show you the dark pool levels. I don't want to do dark pool levels. We'll talk about, shoot, I just lost my place. Let me go back to here. Hey, Carlos, what was I talking about? You have no clue, huh? Okay, excellent. All right, well, I've shown you something on the Discord, and we were going to, let's look at net flows. We can see, all right, the GEX levels. Shit, sometimes my head forgets. All right, GEX, and then I'll look at the SPY. So as we closed yesterday, these are your GEX levels. So what is it showing you? Well, it's showing you 417 with active support. And again, understand these change as the market opens. The market opens, I will look at these levels 1 hour into the market at 10:30 a.m. But right now, what is it showing you? It's showing you it's pretty freaking accurate. It's showing you support at the 417 level. Rejection is around the 418 level. The magnet is drawing you to 418. The second magnet, which is right here, this little red square, is 419, drawing you up to 419. And it's saying if you get to 419, it's likely to reject 420. Okay? So, and again, there are little magnets down here. So there's a little bit of an opening. As these increase, if I was to see 414 increase to this level, and some of these levels go down, then I would say, shit, we're heading to 414. It helps you make an easier digestion. It keeps it simple of the market. And how does this help you? You're like, I don't even trade the SPY, and I don't trade 0 days till expiration options. No, but if the SPY is sitting at 419, and I tell you, and I get on Discord, and I'm like, hey, the SPY is likely to be drawn down to 416. What do? Well, you get into puts. And if you're in calls at 419, you secure profit because you're like, oh, it's going to draw down to 416. So I'm not saying that's going to happen today. Again, I like to look at it as soon as like an hour into it, an hour and a half. I get updates during the day. Now, what else do I like to look at on Discord? Very, very simple. I like to look at the market net flow. What does that mean? It's basically all the options that are open in the market and where they are. So I'll explain it a little better when I get the chart up. Let's just make sure that you guys can see it with me. Okay, you can. So let's open it up. Okay. This was yesterday's net flow chart. So the SPY was sitting up here. Calls and puts were both down here. The SPY dropped hard. So everything is sitting in this range. Then all of a sudden, they started purchasing the shit out of calls right at this level. So if you're on Discord and you see the market net flow and you see something shoot up like this, I'd bet you $1 million the market's going higher. They're not loading into calls because the market's going to drop. So they load into calls. The market goes up enough. Then what happens right around this level right here? They load into puts. What happens? The market drops, right? Oh, shit, I'm still in puts. Market goes higher. What do? They press their bet. And as the market is higher right here and people see that they're loading calls, the calls start selling. So the premiums on those start going down. So you end the day with put premiums up here, call premiums here, and the SPY sitting right around here. Again, this can easily change within an hour of market open. So anybody that's trading the market that has a preconceived notion of what they're exactly expecting today, don't. Look on Discord, look at the levels, look at the GEX levels, look at the market net flow levels. And what else I like to do is I'll check out the net flow for the SPY. Again, you've got the net flow for the market, but let's do net flow for the SPY and see how that looked. Because it should look something similar, but it doesn't. The puts are still heavily weighted. You're paying a lot more for put premiums up here. Calls haven't moved. What would make you get bullish? If the call premiums went over 0, went to a +3, a +5, and we saw a flash up here. I also look at the bottom level. Once I start seeing a couple of green bars like I do here, Okay. I knew it was going good. When you see red bars, right? They started, you know the market's going to drop. Okay. So just simple things like that. You could look up any stocks. In fact, I'm going to keep this up because I saw someone ask if we could look at the dark pool of what we were looking at, Tesla. Oh, and thank you. Anybody that likes what I do, please take the time for a thumbs up. Make a comment on the side if you like. Share the video. Again, I'm here to help you. So if you have any questions, you could totally be like, hey, what's going to happen with so-and-so? And I'll say, what do you think is going to happen? You'll tell me, and I'll say, here's what I kind of think. Okay, so let's look at the dark pool level for Tesla, and then I'll talk about some stocks. TRDP levels for Tesla. All right. What are we seeing? Okay. The only dark pool levels we're seeing are 198.4. So again, with Tesla sitting at over $200, I'm looking at 202.45. I'm looking and I see, okay, each dark pool level is about $4. So the fact that it stops at 202.45 doesn't prevent me. I just don't know how big the next dark pool level is, but I know the next dark pool level is about 206.45. 206.50 probably. It's going up $4 and a nickel each time. See, $4 a nickel, $4.04, $4.05, $4.05. See the pattern? I mean, these patterns are there for a reason. So the next dark pool level, even though it's not shown, you would know it's $206.50. So I'd be looking at 206.50, 202.45, 198.40. I don't think we're even going to touch the 194.35. So that's an easy way to just do dark pool levels for that. Is BABA a good buy? So I know we had a high room suggestion about BABA calls. Me, I stay away from China. So Kumar, honestly, I'm staying the hell away from China. Hang Seng started up yesterday. It looked like a green day and it faded all day. And the Hang Seng finished at like 0.1% off, which is not bad seeing how they lost 2% the previous day and 1.5% the previous day before that. So, I mean, it was basically flat yesterday. Does that make BABA a good buy? It makes it a good buy if you're going to scalp. Two stocks that I like to scalp would be Coin and BABA. Why? Because when Coin touches the low of the day, we see it explode up like 4 points. It'd be like 57. I look again, it's 61. Or on the downside, it's like 63, and now all of a sudden it's 59. All right? So, yeah, BABA, same way. BABA at 78 gets a little support, rides up $1. I haven't seen BABA move more than like 1%, 1.5%. Carvana, man. See, here's the thing about Carvana. It's tough because you're late to the game. At $7, Carvana was a screaming like, buy, this shit should go, higher. $9, it still could pop to 11. I think we're over like probably $12. 11 is like my point of contention. Like if it's at 9, I know it's going to 11. Maybe even 12. At 11 or 12, I really couldn't tell you that Carvana is going to 14. So I'm just going to look up Carvana real quick. And it's about risk and reward. So Carvana has been, let's look at the 1 month. I mean, the 1 month is pushing higher. The outflow yesterday, it hardly sold off. So I can tell you if Carvana gets an inflow day where the market's not throwing up on itself, yeah, I mean, it could run up to, I don't know. It hasn't broke these levels in a while. I mean, I guess you could have it run up to maybe this earnings here, like 1503. $15, I'd be selling Carvana. That's a simple fact. If I got 15 out of Carvana, I'd be selling Carvana. If you look at a more narrow chart, I mean, it's just really at the top of the range. So again, but I wouldn't be playing puts on Carvana because if a stock squeezes like Upstart did, or like Affirm did, or like AI did going into earnings. Remember, AI was like $28, went as high as 46. Where is it this morning? Probably like $32, $33, maybe $31. I don't know. Any thoughts on Riot? Again, I would rather play Coin. So I don't make a preconceived notion about Coin like, hey, it's going to this today. I watch. And when Coin bottoms, and again, here's my thing with Riot and Mara. They follow similar patterns. And similar patterns, I mean, like each and every day. Like when Bitcoin stocks, and I used to follow these stocks, used to spike in the morning, they used to fade in the afternoon. So if I saw a Riot or a Mara topping out in the morning, I'd be like, just fade it all day and it would fade. However, I haven't followed those really lately. So renewable energy, best in class. I've been hearing stuff about Interface Energy. I'd rather be in solar than oil these days. That's where majority of the investment's going. Can we look at some dark pool levels? and I see someone's making STEM. STEM doesn't have the volume anymore. So, I mean, I'll look up STEM and we'll check out all three, but STEM just doesn't have the volume. I remember it was an $11 stock. Now it's $5. If I go back to 1 month, yeah, I mean, STEM looks great over 1 month, right? Hey, look, oh shit, that looks awesome from 373 to $5.52. But when you look at the volume yesterday, it was 44,000 shares. 44,000 shares with a market cap of 858 million. It's up 30% in the last month. It's a small cap play that probably does not have earnings. Let's just check it out. Yeah, earnings per share negative 94 cents per share. So again, I would stay away from STEM. So we'll just get that question. All right, dark pool levels for Oracle and Apple. Yeah, I mean, I'd be very curious about Apple. I haven't looked at that one yet. So let's go over to Discord. Let's get rid of that. These are top flows. So someone looked up the top flow in the interim. What are they selling? Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin. Why? Because defense spending is being limited in this bill to like a 1% increase. You got the SPY over here, right? TGT, long yields, Qs, Disney. Disney's interesting. I'd stay away from that trade because Disney actually looks semi-strong to me. Again, they're still buying NVIDIA, Ulta Beauty, I guess, Amazon, and Tesla calls still led the way. Romeo mentioned Nike yesterday could be a turnaround play. It's pretty beaten up. Remember, Nike was 124. Nike's at like $105 right now. So, you know, long-term stock, you might want to look at Nike. Okay, let's do our dark pool levels. Dark pool level for Apple. Then what was it? Oracle, TRDP level for Oracle, right? Hopefully this works. I'm not seeing it work. Let's also look at the net flow for Apple. All right, well, hopefully that'll start working. If not, you know, sometimes, oh, there we go. Sometimes there are so many people entering commands, and we share a TradyTix platform as far as, you know, the information goes. So what did I get? Just 1 out of 3? I guess it didn't like my first 2 commands. So let's look at dark pool level for Apple. Maybe I might have misspelled it. I tend to do that sometimes. So if I'm looking at net premiums for Apple, first off, I'm seeing Apple took a shit on itself. However, the puts didn't really go up in premium all that much. The calls are still high. However, when it took a shit, people got scared and started selling their calls. But I mean, Apple would still be neutral right here. I wouldn't have a preconceived notion about Apple dropping or going up today. Unfortunately, my dark pool, maybe it's dark pool levels, TRDP levels. I probably forgot the S. Either. Yeah, there we go. So Apple dark pool level, nothing under 170. Apple is sitting right this morning. Where are we sitting at Apple? Probably around, I don't know. I don't even want to guess. I know we were 177. Right. 177. Okay. And we're at 177.59 this morning. It's up 0.2%. Again, this is pretty crazy sell-off yesterday. So 177.59. So as we look at it, we go, okay, 177.13. Well, yesterday's low was 176.76. So it was in between these dark pool levels. So I would say to myself, if Apple takes a red day today, then I would look for support right at 175.65. We didn't get there yesterday. So then I say to myself, next level up, 177.13. We closed above that dark pool level. Apple closed bullish yesterday. So I'm saying to myself, I'm going to pay extremely good attention to the 177 level, because if 177 acts as support, we've seen Apple be bullish. I wasn't even bullish Apple yesterday, and we had Ellie from our Discord. I think she made over 100% each of the last 2 days on singular Apple trades, meaning she just follows Apple, calls the bottom, gets in. I mean, if you see Apple the past couple of days, it's generally looks like this. So anytime it dips, they're buying the dip on Apple. So that mentality is still there. Let's see if I can find your dark pool level for Oracle, and anybody else is welcome to ask about their stocks before we finish, and then I'll head over to Discord and we'll do some talking over there. All right, so Oracle, let's see where Oracle closed at, and let's see what Oracle looks like. Again, I know Apple is best in class, so I know they're buying Apple. When I look at Oracle, again, the chart looks pretty bullish. I look at the 1 month, and I go inflow 3 of the last 4 days, even when they dipped a little. And let me just see if I can show you guys this. Get a bigger screen out there. Even when Oracle dipped a little, shit, it looks, so if I show you the chart, you look good. If I show you the inflow and the volume for the last 4 days, it looks good. So ever since I dipped, they were buying Oracle. So somebody's got to plan ahead, man. You see the 3 days leading up into that Oracle dip, you're basically telling yourself, I'm waiting for Oracle to dip so I can buy some. When we're at this level here, What's likely to happen? It's likely to fade higher. So I'd have to break down the 5-day level. 5 days, we're trading a very narrow range. So right now, if I'm saying to myself, well, I'm going to play Oracle, I'm going to stay away from it. Why? Because we're consolidating at that level. And again, there's a lot of information and data being processed in the market. So Oracle to me doesn't make sense. We did so. Let's see what we got here. But it changes all day. Yes. So these constantly get updated throughout the day. Apple could look extremely bullish at one point. You could look at Apple 10 minutes later and be like, it completely flipped, which is why it's important if you're trading options and your options expire Friday, which is today and tomorrow. Your options expire next week. If you're trading an option that expires in June, right, 3 weeks from today, June 7th, whatever it is, then you're saying, okay, well, it's not that important to me. I'm not day trading today, Matt. I'm not looking to enter and exit today, Matt. If you're entering and exiting today, you must use the algorithms. You must use the flows. Yes, one of the things I like to use is called flow sum, where it shows you the total flow for whatever underlying option. So if you're looking at Microsoft, like thumbs up, thank you. But if you're looking at Microsoft, and let's do it together, I'm looking at to trade Microsoft today, hypothetically. So I'll go TR, I'll look at the dark pool levels for Microsoft. I'll pull that up. Then I'll look at the net flow for Microsoft. Then I'll look up, the last thing would be flow sum. Flow sum is the sum of all open contracts, puts, and calls for Microsoft. It includes, there's not enough information, so usually I have to do that during the day. But if I'm looking at Microsoft up here, what am I looking at? Okay, holy shit. Yesterday afternoon, at some point, the cost for puts skyrocketed right here, okay? So right here. What happened right about this time? Microsoft still went a little higher from 330 to 331. Then what happened? It dropped 3 points. Their puts are telling you, as whenever you see some type of strange spike, don't think that it's not going to happen. All right. When they buy puts and the put premiums are going up and then the stock is still going up, they're telling you it's going to sell off. In fact, I would love to see the net flow for AMD because I can't believe I sold it. AMD. Let's see. Come on. All right. I mean, what do we see? Calls got a little bit back as the stock was rallying, and today calls went down, and today stock went down, and puts are still up here. So how would I have to see a reversal? I would need to see calls closing in on this zero net premiums, telling me that they're not selling calls, that they're actually buying calls. When net premium is -2 like this, I think they're selling calls. They're selling calls and they're buying puts. Selling calls, buying puts is a bearish sign. So again, yesterday morning, why I sold. Well, if you're looking, holy shit, it was a freaking mess an hour into the day. And I'm like, okay, let me exit right here. And that's basically where I exited. After I exited, I got $144 per my put. They went to here. They were $82. I'm like, oh, I made the right decision. But then if I'm watching the flow, again, these premiums still going up, stock is dropping, tried to rebound here, puts came down. I probably would have sold right around here. Okay. Would have sold right around here again, puts, and I would have missed out again. So sometimes it is tricky. Again, if you have a longer term expiration, you're still holding Amazon, AMD puts. If you're short term expiration, you probably bought and sold a couple times yesterday, like myself. Let me just see if I have any other stocks that I'm thinking about playing today. Again, I'll go to my watch list. SPY turned flat at 417.85. The next step down again is 416.60. If we go under that, you're going to see 415.20. If the market gets bought up this morning, again, 418 is a real key number. So either 418 rejects or 418 acts as support. Without knowing that, it's hard to say, yes, I'm going to buy XYZ or whatever stock because I need to know if the market's going higher. If the market is going higher, I might look at Tesla calls if I see support at that 418 level. If I don't, then, I'm going to be looking for puts and things that get pretty beat up recently. So, it is what it is. And that's my trading strategy heading in. And if I don't have an idea of what I'm going to do, what will I do? Sit on the freaking sidelines, watch the market, anticipate certain movements, write them down of, hey, I'm seeing bearish movement in the market. If my stock gets up here, I'm going to enter into puts. Or you write down, man, I really want to buy some whatever because it keeps going up and this is consolidation. Let me look at saw Costco, or possibly stock I entered into yesterday, Walmart, finally had some a green candle on that. Looks like it might have bottomed. So, I mean, Walmart's got a bunch to make back. I can get 6-7 points on that if I'm correct. I bought out till 2.5 weeks. So we'll see how that one plays out. Thank you again for joining me this morning. Please share the video. And I'll see everybody tomorrow morning, Friday, Lotto Fridays. Hopefully I'll put together some good ideas.